Hey everyone, Jeff Schiefelbein here, the new board president for the Highlands School. I'm so thankful to be coming to you tonight to share some updates after we released our reopening plan last week. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a recently new parent to the Highlands School. I have 5 kids, 3 of them attend the Highlands. I have Lorelei going into first, Amelia going into pre-K 4, and Pax going into pre-K 3. I also have a 1-year-old at home, and baby number 5 is due in January. I got to tell you first that when my wife and I found the Highlands School several years ago, we realized that this was the best community to raise our kids with strong faith formation, and that it was right here in Irving, Texas. And that's when we decided to move to this side of town, and it was because of this school. What I didn't expect in that move was how important the Highlands School would become to my personal faith journey, to bringing faith more into my own home, and then to see the embrace that this community has of one another. And I'll tell you, there's not many places that I've ever seen that are like the Highlands community. So I'm grateful to God that He's given me the opportunity to serve you and to serve this community that's so important to my family. So I hope you'll stick with me here as I share a few updates with you tonight. First, I want to thank you. So many of you have reached out with questions, comments, suggestions, input as a result of the plan that was delivered from Dr. Pinnell on Friday evening. And I love the passion and the engagement of every one of the comments that I've seen. So please know that we are encouraging and hoping that rather than having sidebar conversations or trying to read between the lines or fill in your own narrative about what's happening, we highly encourage you to reach out and speak to a member of the team that's been putting these plans together, that's helping to implement all of these plans every day in the background, because we want you to be aware and to be a part of the solution that we're talking about here. I also want you to know a whole lot of work went into the planning and presentation of what you saw on Friday evening. That was not something that was done in haste. As a matter of fact, the faculty and administration of the school, along with the Board of Trustees and a parent group that was assigned to get the school ready and think of best practices for a COVID scenario, all of their input was taken in, along with input from the Diocese of Dallas and the Superintendent, Dr. Matthew Varicki, with the Texas Education Agency and all of their resources. Even all of these people on this team that were putting together this plan for you were reviewing other plans for reopening for schools in the area, schools in the diocese, other Regnum Christi schools, and schools throughout the US. So please know that a lot of different viewpoints were taken into account when we came up with the plan that we did and presented to you last Friday. None of the decisions that we've made have been made lightly, and please know that the health and the safety of your students and of my kids has been at the top of all of our list. It is very important to all of us. Now, let me reiterate a little bit about what this plan is, what it entails. School will open again on Monday, August 10th. The first 2 days, that Monday and Tuesday, are going to be days that we're lining out the technology. We're making sure that the people who are going to have needs at home, whether that's a laptop or an iPad, have everything they need, that if there's packets or resources that we need to distribute beforehand, we're able to get that into the hands of the families on Monday and Tuesday. And then beginning on Wednesday, August 12th, that's when we're going to have our school instruction start. And we're giving people the ultimate flexibility. So families can decide to send their students in person. And if you read the plan, in person involves the right social distancing and control of movement and protocols for if there's an issue. Or you can choose to not be in person, and you can be in a synchronous streaming, a live streaming of the classroom that your student would normally be in at that time. And so we've been putting the technology in place and testing it out so that the student is participating in the same class. This is not distance learning or e-learning. This is learning in that classroom being synced, live streamed to your home, and you're able to even interact with the teacher, and the teacher then can distribute resources digitally. So think of a class assignment or a test that with the click of a button is going to everyone in the class and everyone outside of the class at the same time. So now you have the option, although my personal belief for my kids is I'm going to be sending them to school, you have the option, if that's different for you, to either keep them at home and have them learn through that synchronous live streaming, or in person Or what's different about the Highlands than so many of the programs that we looked at for other people's reopening plans is that we're also giving you the flexibility that if one isn't working or you want to change to the other, you can make those shifts without having to commit for 3 months at a time that I'm only going to be online or I'm only going to be in person. The bottom line is you get to decide starting this August which path your child is going to take. And if your child does the work at home or online, they will be present and learning for that classroom education. This plan has taken a great deal of team effort. And I know we get to see Dr. Pinnell so often, as he should be in his role, in front of the camera and with his name on the materials that are going out. But there are so many of you, more than I could possibly thank on one video, that have been critical to this. But I know you have more questions. I know not everything was in that plan in every detail that you would like it. So listen up for a couple more communication pieces heading your way. First, we will release in the next few days a frequently asked questions document. We'll also be posting it on the COVID resource part somewhere on our webpage. We'll link to it for you to address the questions that we're getting over and over so that you can use that resource. I would also recommend, now that maybe you've had a couple days to let it settle in, go back and reread the email, cover letter, and the 10+ page document that came out on Friday, because you will find that a lot of the questions you have are actually in there. But if you're like me, you read through it real fast trying to figure out all the details. Go back and reread it and see if there's things that maybe you missed the first time or you can kind of connect the dots on. Again, we're happy to answer those questions and continue to grow the FAQ page as more questions come about. You're also going to be getting a parent survey. I've heard this is going to be no later than the end of Wednesday. That's to help us understand on day one, what are we looking at? How many people think their kids are going to be needing to learn in a synchronous live streaming environment at home versus in person? What technology needs do you have? Some people might have larger needs for technology at home on day one. In my case, I may not need those technology needs on day one. You're also, though, the third piece you're going to be getting is an invitation to a new series we're launching this year. This series is called Open Lines. It's going to be co-hosted by myself and Dr. Pinnell. And every month we're going to host a live video chat session on Zoom where parents and teachers can get on there, and maybe different times we're highlighting different parts of the school, or we're sharing something that's going on. We're diving into a different piece of the school the same way we would do in my business, and helping to both be transparent about what's going on, but also to get your input and your feedback about that topic. Well, the first series, we're actually going to do 3 or 4 of these. The topic is reopening the school, as it should be. The first one's going to be on this Thursday evening, followed by a few more next week. Space is going to be limited because we're going to have these as small community group conversations so that this Open Lines series starts with you being able to be in real dialogue with the president of the board and the head of the school, myself and Dr. Pinnell. And now for a personal reflection and a request. I personally believe that if you look across the Highlands School community, we have everything we need. If you thought about the parents, the faculty, the administration, the legionary priests, the consecrated women of Regnum Christi, the board of directors, you would literally have everything you need to solve any problem. And it could be a physical problem, an operational problem, a financial problem, or most importantly, a spiritual problem. But we have it. We have it right here in our own community. And we're going to face a lot of challenges ahead, as is every school and as is every community. So I'm asking you if you would consider becoming part of the answer with us. If you would step up and be a contributor to making the Highlands School the absolute best place it can be, so that we can fulfill that call that God has given to us to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. So please join me in praying for our school, and praying for one another, and praying for communities across America as we all face a reopening challenge, and getting on board with the part that I need your help. Dr. Pinnell and the team, we need your help so that we can come up with the best possible answers. Again, thank you so much for your engagement. I pray for you. God bless you. I look forward to talking with each of you sometime soon.